Hi guys, in this tutorial I'll be showing you how you can make this 1/12 scale rustic French wheelbarrow from my easy to assemble kits. Simply follow the step-by-step instructions to create your own realistic miniatures for you to paint and finish in your own style. I've designed a range of kits, so this one and others are available to purchase through my website steveputnam.com. So let's get started and see what tools and supplies you'll need to assemble this kit in the comfort of your own home. So you'll need wood glue. I choose Gorilla Glue as my favourite brand, but any brand of your choice will do. You'll need a scalpel, Stanley or craft knife. You'll need cocktail sticks or toothpicks. Sandpaper. I tend to start most of my sanding with something from about 100 to 150 grit and then go in with a much finer sandpaper. Something about 180 is good for a much finer finish. You'll also need a range of paintbrushes in various sizes. Some of these older brushes where the bristles have splayed are really useful for a wood grain effect. You'll also need a range of acrylics in varying shades of brown, and also this burnt sienna and yellow ochre are really useful colours for achieving a rust effect, and we will come on to that finish a bit later. I also recommend a range of acrylics in paler brown and taupe shades. This Humbrol weathering powder, which is available in this rust finished, which is a really fantastic effect, or alternatively you can use ground cinnamon. Just be mindful that if you don't like the smell of cinnamon, it will permanently smell like Christmas. I also use super glue. And finally, you'll need a pair of flat nose and pointed nose pliers. So you want to start with your sheet of pre-cut components, and you'll notice there are small tabs holding these pieces in place. So using a craft knife or scalpel, carefully cut through these tabs to release the pieces from the sheet. So once you've cut through all of these tabs, you can then easily push all of the parts from the sheet and discard the outer frame. Lay all your pieces out and make sure everything is ready to assemble, and now we can start construction of the wheelbarrow. You'll notice on the pieces you've removed from the sheet that some of the tiny tabs will need sanding down. I use a fine grit sandpaper just to remove any of these. Taking the two side sections of the barrow, I like to sand down the handles and give these a more rounded and tapered look. As you can see here, once you've finished, this creates a much more realistic shape to the handle. Take care when sanding these parts and try not to apply too much pressure when holding these, especially at the weak areas where there are cutouts along the length of this piece. On some of your straighter pieces, I find laying the sandpaper flat like this helps to not distort any of the edges. Just repeat this process on all the other parts and remove any of the tiny tabs. Depending on how rustic you want your finished cart to look, you can round off some of the edges on all of the parts, which just gives a much softer look when you finally paint it. We're firstly going to glue together the wheel rim and the middle section, so I run a line of glue around this middle part and then slot this into the outer rim of the wheel. While the glue is still wet, you can just make sure that this sits in the centre of the rim and remove any excess glue with a cocktail stick. Once you're happy with the position, just set this aside and allow this to dry. Okay, so back to the main body of the cart. We're going to take our slatted base section and our two side supports and run a line of glue like so down each side and on the two small tabs either side. We're then going to line up these tabs with the holes in the two side sections. Just make sure that the wider section of this slatted base is towards the back of the cart where the handles are, and the narrower part will sit towards the front where the wheel is. Again, if there's any excess glue, just remove this with a cocktail stick or toothpick. Now we're going to glue and position the two back legs, so add some glue to the protruding tab at the back of your slatted section, and you'll notice on the leg there is a flat end that wants to go towards the bottom of the cart, and just slide that in position like so, and then repeat this on the other side of the cart. So again, just make sure that flat angled section towards the end is parallel with the side you've just fixed. So just push this piece into the protruding tab and tidy up any excess glue. Now to position the lower brace between these two legs, add a tiny spot of glue to the two holes and then position this between the two legs. If you make sure that the two darker cutter edges run horizontal with the slatted base, then this will fit around the two angled pieces like so. You're now going to position these two front uprights, and the rounded section with the tiny hole in, we want to make sure that faces towards the front of the cart where the wheel is. So add a spot of glue to the protruding tab at the front and then just push these in place like so. Now taking the front slatted piece, we're going to run a line of glue down the side and on the small tab. I also run a line of glue along the bottom and then just position this in place with the tab into the hole on the upright. You can then repeat this process on the other side, making sure the two pieces are fixed in position. Again, just go around with your cocktail stick or toothpick and tidy up any excess glue that might be showing. So that's the main body of your barrow constructed, and it should be looking like this. We're now going to set this aside and work on the wheel section. So taking the small dowel that's provided, thread this through one of the holes at the front of one of the side sections like so. You can then start to thread on the 3 discs that are supplied. There should be 1 smaller and 2 larger for each side. You then want to thread on your wheel and the last 3 remaining discs in the same order, the 2 large and then the smaller one. So once all these parts are threaded on, you can then fully thread that through the other side of the cart like so, and just try and centre it roughly. Now it's positioned and in the centre, we can separate those discs out and add a small dab of glue between each of them and fix those together. We don't want to add glue to the disc and the wheel because that will prevent the wheel from turning at a later date. So we're going to keep the wheel separate so as it spins. So just move your wheel over to those 3 glued discs and separate the discs on the other side, and just repeat that process again with a small dab of glue and fix those in place. Again, make sure your wheel spins and there's nothing gluing that to be fixed. So we're going to add a small dab of glue to the dowel and the hole in the side of the cart, like so. We can just kind of work this in. We're just going to fix this dowel in place. So while the glue is still wet, you can just make sure that your wheel and dowel is centered. And then once you're happy with the position, you can just set this aside and allow this to dry. So once that has dried, just take a pair of snips or strong scissors and you can just nip those ends off. So now your barrow is finished, it's ready to paint. I use a range of acrylics in varying shades of brown and mix these together to create a good mid-brown base colour. So I start by applying this base colour all over, making sure that I do all sides of the slatted sections. So I normally apply 2 coats of this base colour, allowing it to dry between coats to give me a good even coverage. So now taking your burnt sienna colour, I like to use this for any areas on the barrow that I want to look like rusted metal. So I'm going to apply this to the wheel and the rim, also that dowel section and the discs either side of that. I want all of this part to look like old rusted metal. So I found to create a really good realistic rust effect, I add a small amount of yellow ochre to the burnt sienna colour, and I just kind of dab this on in random areas of the wheel, and you can take some of the excess paint off with your finger, but this really helps to create a realistic rust effect which has varying levels of corrosion. So now taking your Humbrol weathering powder, or alternatively you can use ground cinnamon, we're going to apply that to the wheel and any other rusted sections while that acrylic paint is still wet. This is really handy to help the powder stick to these sections. So again, you can see I'm just dabbing this on randomly, and this really does create a fantastic rust effect. So to add another layer of realism to this wheel, I've taken a very dark, almost black brown acrylic, and I'm just dabbing this on around the rim of the wheel and in some of the axle section there. As you can see, I'm painting it on, taking the excess off with my finger, but this really does help to give this wheel a really aged and distressed look. So just make sure once you finish painting that your wheel still moves freely, and it's worth giving this a few turns before the paint dries just to make sure it doesn't stick. So now to add a wood grain effect to the rest of your barrow, I've taken a much paler colour, as you can see here, and I'm using one of my older kind of splayed brushes to just dry brush over all of those brown sections that we painted earlier. I'm kind of applying the paint and then wiping some of this off with my finger. This really isn't a technique you can get wrong, so definitely give this a go, and if you're not happy with the effect, a piece of damp kitchen paper will easily remove the paint. So your finished cart should look something like this. And lastly, I'm just going to go over with this very diluted pale brown wash. I take some of the excess off on a piece of cardboard, and then I'll just work back over some of the areas on this barrow where I think it might have a bit more wear and tear. I want this to look like really old wood that has been left outside and weathered down over time. So I also mixed this green and yellow ochre colour into a kind of sludgy green mix, and we're going to dry brush this over certain areas of the barrow, again where water might have sat and the wood has aged down over time. I also find that highlighting some of the areas over the rust really helps to give this an extra additional layer of aging. Now lastly, we're going to take the wire that's provided in the kit, and on your printed instructions there's a template to create two of these upright wire supports for the front of the barrow. So we're using our pliers to create this kind of Z shape, and if you use the template as a guide, we need to make this exact so as this fits into the holes on the barrow. So we can just take our snips and nip the ends of these off to match our template, and then I set these aside and give these a coat of burnt sienna so as that we're again recreating that rust finished effect. I take some super glue like this and just dipping the ends of these two Z sections into the super glue. We then want to align these with the holes in the barrow. As you can see here, I've got the upright wire from the outside of the side of the cart to the inside of the slatted upright section. Once you've got one side fixed in place, just repeat that on the other side and glue that into position like so. So once you're happy with the position of those two side supports and the glue has dried, we can then just go back in with our burnt sienna colour and just touch up any areas where the paint might have scratched off during fixing those. And again, while that acrylic paint is still wet, we're just going to add a small amount of our Humbrol weathering powder just to add to that rust finish. So that's it, your French rustic wheelbarrow is completed, and this can be displayed however you choose. I decided to use my barrow to display these miniature pumpkins, and you can see how to make these and other polymer clay vegetables in my previous tutorials. Well, that's it folks, I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if it's inspired you to get creative, then please do hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Steve Putnam Design, for future updates.